Good morning, guys. Today, Jim Squares is bringing some more solutions for you. Today's a money and time protection hack around your identity being at risk. So first, remember to like and subscribe down below. And then also in the show notes, there's a place where you can sign up for a newsletter. And I will be sending you out good quality information only when I get around to it and when it's good. So I promise you, I will not be mail bombing like everybody else. So your credit report. So there's all these societies or groups, I should say, are out there who are saying, hey, let us monitor your credit. So I've got a better way for you, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So that's always a good thing. So almost all my solutions will be as cost effective as possible, so you keep more money in your pocket. So that's my goal, because that's my goal for me. And so I'm just sharing with you what I do. And this is around managing your Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion are the three credit bureaus. And this is in the US-based thing. So think of if you have if your social security number is stolen or other personal information, if you essentially put up a credit freeze, others won't be able to open up accounts in your name. So here's what happened to me a while back. I got a free credit alert monitoring because of one of those breaches, Anthem or somebody told me or lost my data. And so my data was stolen. And so I put it on, I said, yep, give me the credit alert for free. Sure, I'll try it. And then I got a notice saying, hey, you tried to apply for a new credit card. And I couldn't believe it because I know I didn't, like I hadn't. And I know my credit, like pretty good. And I was shocked. And so I tried to follow up. Essentially I found out someone did try to open it, but essentially I called the company, whoever they were trying to open it. And they said, yeah, we got some paperwork online. And I said, hey, I'm like, can you tell me any more information? And they said, no. I'm like, I can prove I'm me, and you can't tell me information about like what I tried to apply for. Like, what's the address I gave you to send all this stuff to? And they said, no. So they're protecting me from me? I don't get it. Because I was like, well, I want to report them to the police. And essentially I got nowhere with whatever company it was a bank. And I was just pissed, and I couldn't believe it. So what I did is I did some more research, because I was like, oh, this credit monitoring stuff, it has some merit to it, but I don't want to be paying like for subscriptions. That's the big lesson for you, is get away from subscriptions wherever you can. And what I ended up doing is I found a credit freeze. So I froze all my credit. And what it does is it makes it impossible for other people to get approved for the credit unless it's temporary or permanently lifted. And they have to have your password. So essentially, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free by the government. And what you'll need to do is you need to freeze it with each of those three different firms. So Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So those are the three. But what you'll want to do is you definitely want to do that. Is you have to call each one, and you have to get a freeze set up. And it's free. You can do it online. You don't have to call. But make sure if you do it, you don't need the credit monitoring, because if it's frozen, no one can open up credit. Now, here's the problem with that is if you set it up, one, you need to have really good record keeping. So you need to keep your passwords and make sure you put them somewhere where you can find them. I have a place where I put all my stuff like that, so I won't be able to find it for sure. So I froze my wife's credit and mine. And so that's number one. Number two is if you need to apply for a new car loan, a home equity line of credit, a new credit card, or ask for a limit on your credit card to be raised, you have to essentially unfreeze your credit so that they can look at it and then freeze it again. So I have had to do that 2 or 3 times since I've done this. So whenever the credit freeze stuff came, like I was one of the earliest adopters, if not the first. So I've had to do it 3 times. Now I have a more established credit, and I don't need it as much now that I have it, and I've gotten everything kind of in place. So unless something's like an awesome rate, it's going to stay frozen. I'm not going to do anything about it. So, but I highly recommend doing it. Make sure that if someone steals your credit card, this is the fourth thing I would consider, is they can still charge your credit card, because that's different from a credit freeze. Think of it as someone stole your credit card. That's their PIN to still using your money, but make sure you call your credit card, and they will, waive the charges. Usually, if it's a good credit card, they will. If it's a bad charge, you need to file a dispute. But for getting any new credit beyond what you have control in your wallet or in your house, that's when the credit freeze is applicable. If you don't think you're at risk, I would highly recommend doing it, because I shred all my papers, shred all my bank statements, I shred all my receipts, I shred everything that has my IDs on it, and somehow my data got out there, and it was through one of these data breaches, which is crazy to me because I shred all that stuff, and then I dispose of it in separate like bags. So I'm really anal about it. So if I had a bunch of statements, I wait till the stack is big, I shred them all, and then I put it in 3 different bags. So I take a handful of the shredded, put in one bag, handful, and put it in another bag, handful, another. The odds of somebody going through that crap and putting it together, finding out who I am, and it's a crosscut shred, it doesn't happen. There's no way. No one would do that. So, but this is the last thing that I needed in place. So I'm super happy I did it. It doesn't impact your credit score. In fact, it'll probably make you more secure, and so your credit score doesn't get ruined by these nefarious people out there. So I would highly recommend doing it. So again, do credit freeze. I will put some links in the show notes down below to the 3 different firms. I'll try to see if they're linked directly to their credit freeze pages. If they say you have to pay, you don't. You're at the wrong place. And don't look up credit. If you look up credit freeze, be careful because there's all these credit monitoring people who will come up, and you don't need it. You just freeze it, and then you put it in place. And then if you need to get a credit increase or for a loan or whatever, just make sure you know your passwords and you have a piece of paper. You look at it, you unlock your password, you say, hey, check it. And then they say, hey, we did it, and then put it back on. That's essentially what I do now. So there's that split second where someone else could do it. The odds that they'll know, so small. So anyways, that's my tip for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe down below because there'll be plenty more free tips coming for you. Free is good. So especially when it's high value. So take care and keep growing together. Later.